there's a little API called WeatherStack. It's a cute little thing, and it allows you to fetch weather, right? And you can see the person's location, temperature, and stuff like that. And then they have pricing, and luckily they have a free tier for us to test, where you can make 250 requests per month. So I quickly signed up, and I went to the documentation, and current weather was pretty straightforward. You see, it starts repeating itself. You'll see they'll say, oh, it's here, current with this data, and do they mention the type of request? Maybe not. Bad API, bad API. They should, and they don't. Okay. Anyway, this is a get request. Again, you're getting something. So again, you see, you have this concept of having a base, and they even put it in a different color. You have a path, really simple. And then these are query parameters. So this is where I'll show you an example of a query parameter. Again, I did my research. I went into Postman. I set up a get with this WeatherStack current, and then, yeah, you can see my access key, it's fine. This is how you do, so Postman will nicely configure it for you. Let me copy this before I lose it. Okay, so this is why Postman is nice to use, it's great to use. You see, it will build these for you, so you don't have to worry about it. All right, so here, what they mentioned in the documentation, they say, hey, we have an access key because you're paying, or technically using it for free. You need to provide this in order for us to give you the data. So what they say is it should be called access key. And you see, this is why I like Postman. Automatically, it will write it here in a way that is what it's supposed to be. There, access key. And then the final thing they say, you need to provide the city as well as a second argument. Well, as something called query, I'm just going to provide Stockholm. There we go. So you can provide multiple arguments to a request. I call them query parameters, but they're also called arguments, which will affect what comes back. So if the different city is typed in, then a different result will come back. And you can see here, this doesn't have to be a static thing. It could be something that the user types in as well. They could search for weather. You could fetch it in a certain way. So what happens when I do the same thing I click? Well, you already saw the result here. This is not a list, you see. This is just one item. Here is 20. They provide the icon, which I'm guessing is a sun. Yeah, sunny.png. And they provide a description saying sunny, and a bunch of other things you can show if you want to. So I was thinking, why not just integrate this into our app really quickly? And for this, I might go a bit fast for the sake of the demo, because I haven't yet made it. WeatherStack, I think it was called. Let's go back here. And provide the base. Yeah, it's not a secure URL. That's too bad. Let's see if that exists. Right. Okay. I'm on a free tier, so I only get free thing. Let's see if that works though. It should still be able to create something. The reason we provide a really harsh warning there is because in order for a PWA to be a PWA for Chrome or for any browser, if you start making insecure network requests, they won't allow you the PWA to get installed on a device. It won't be considered a PWA. It kind of breaks. Anyway, let's get back to our thing, and it should work for our example. They say it's called current, so let's do that. Oh, yeah, current weather, I guess. Maybe that's redundant. Current. You see, I'm building up the same path that they had. You get. In this scenario, we have a few different things. We have this extra piece at the end, which are kind of arguments for that. Oh, that was a bad copy paste. Paste that instead. There we go. So lots of different pieces there. Nothing else, I guess. Let's see what comes back. Yeah, city. So again, weather, I guess. Body. This time it's JSON. It's just one item. Let's test that as well. There we go. See weather. And create. And then I would like to display the weather for Stockholm. Also, it's only ever going to fetch the weather for Stockholm. So why don't we call the view Stockholm weather? Create. And this is where this guy comes in handy. I mean, again, we'll do this a bit differently. Again, it's good and it's nice to store it here. So let's put this weather. JSON. Weather is JSON. Keep it here. All right. What I'm doing now is I'm just creating a piece of state again to save this JSON of the weather. And then the reason I went back now is because I realized while building my view that I needed access to weather. All right. So what we'll do is we'll do a few things. I think there was an image. Let's see how that ends up working. I'm not sure if the image will be proper, but at least we should get a few pieces of info, right? It's nice to mention, okay, you see, request.query would be Stockholm, Sweden. So this is where you go to state weather. Yeah, request query. Okay, interesting. Interesting choice. Oops. There we go. That, and let me come back in here. Yeah, it's there, you see. Okay, so that's how you access state. It's by first saying that it's state, and then weather, and then inside weather, it was request.query. So that's how we got that one. Okay, since it's a city name, let's make it a bit bolded. There we go. And yes, the most basic other piece of information is just the temperature. So current.temperature. They made it very simple. And we can display time as well. So let's do this. State weather.current.temperature. There we go. And yeah, let's put Celsius, because you can see they don't provide the unit here. I mean, yes, we should be using Celsius, but it's always nice to display the unit. So I'll just type in this. So we should get the temperature, and then it should say degrees Celsius. Why not also just display the time it was observed? I'm just going to copy this to go faster. Oop, same thing. State weather dot current dot observation time. I think. Yeah, dot current dot observation time. So that's what it ends up being. And then yes, we had an image custom value for the source. This one, I think we had a weather icon to show a sunny little icon. So let's see if that works. It's in current weather icons. Weather icons. And then what you've noticed is it's a list for some reason, okay? Which means that there must be multiple possibilities on this. I haven't tested it very much, so I'm gonna go with the fact that there's one item and it's a list. So I want the first item, and then I'll close. See, it's just a piece of text. Let's see if that works. That's the bit of a Hail Mary with this item that's in a list for some reason. Let's try that out. So I have this view now where I have weather. Okay. Let's see now. Let's put my weather view down. Stockholm weather. Where are you? There you go. Stockholm weather. Again, empty, right? Until I actually fetch what I want. I think I should be able to search it. See, integration weather stack. So let me go down. Now you'll see my WordPress website and my weather. Yes, and we need to set it as well. It's the same way of working. All right, and then when it succeeds, we set it. Okay, boom. What happens here? Again, state weather. Makes it much easier when you just define things properly like that. All right, let's see. Let's restart our app and see if it's able to fetch the weather. We could have some issues here. Let's see. Yeah, we might have some issues here fetching the weather. Let me just double check it on my other screen. What's going wrong? Yes, because it's an insecure request. Let's see if I can change that. Okay, I'm on a free plan, so that's probably why the issue is there. So my web browser is not allowing me to request something insecure. Of course, just for this, I will install this. You don't have to bother what this is. No, actually, I have a solution for this. I have a solution for this. We actually have a solution for this. Yes. Forgot we have a little nifty feature. Let's try it again. And if it works, I'll explain to you what changed. There we go. Okay, what I did there, we enabled it for these scenarios. Let's say you're dealing with an API that doesn't. So APIs are allowed to say that requests from a web browser can only be made from a certain place, right? This is to protect users. In this case, this is something else. This is just because the PWA refuses to make unsecure requests. But normally, web services and websites and everything that are protected, they don't allow you to make what we call a cross-origin request, meaning from appspotr.com or from my devapp.app, calling another API outside, you see. And in this case, a secure thing. So what we have is we have this option on the integration logic block itself to say, hey, could you make this request through Appspotr's API instead? And we fetch it for you and we make it secure for you. Yeah. So then it kind of fixes that issue. Again, make sure you have the authorization to do what you're doing, and be responsible on the web. And if people don't have these security features in place, it's for a reason, right? But this is actually a nifty little checkbox that makes a huge difference. And as you can see, I fetched the weather for Stockholm, Sweden. It's apparently 20 degrees Celsius there, and it's 11:53 a.m. Really, that seems a bit wrong. I think they got their time wrong. No, this is probably the last reading. All right. But you're going to tell me, Kevin, this is useless. Why would I want a page that only fetches Stockholm? And you are right. It is a dumb idea, or it's not a dumb idea. Let's say it could be better. Let's just make a screen for any weather. So I'm making a copy of my Stockholm weather screen, same screen. The difference here is I'm going to allow the user to type in the city. Let's see how that works. So again, text input, output, city, right? Going out. And then we will add a button. So on request, I'm not sure what to call it. and we'll connect this to a button, right? So that when the user presses the button, they can actually request the weather, right? Use the button, request weather. There we go. On press, on request. Okay, and then my placeholder here is city name. And we say that the output should go to city. We've added a bit of complexity now, a slight bit of complexity to our request, but not too much. All right, so then now there's one thing we can do, is we can actually allow the user to define the city. For this, I'm going to make another, I'm going to need to make another method. So this one, maybe we can rename it to get current weather Stockholm, just so that it makes more sense. And what we'll do is we will create a new one, which is just get a current weather. Paste that here. And what I will do is something new here. Again, so inputs, really critical in Appspotr. Data coming in, city, type, text. And all of a sudden, you see here at the end, we are saying it's Stockholm. Same thing here, you can do city. So now technically, whatever comes in will be requested. Let's try this. Output again, let's call it weather body JSON. Let's create this. All right, it's almost the same, just that now the city can change. But you see, you can do it with any part of it, right? It could even be the login. So you could fetch the login from somewhere and then make some request with it. All right, and now let's add my any weather screen and see if I can get that to work. Going blind here. This is the bonus of the bonus task. Let's see. So now I have, see, get current weather and current weather Stockholm. So get current weather. And I think it's the same thing, set state. All right, let's try it. This will be different. On request instead of on patch load. So we're gonna get an empty screen and then stuff will happen. All right, so on request, and you see, I can send data into the integration. So the city that I type can be sent in here. And then again, successful, set the weather. So let's go in here, connect weather. And then we remember the one final step to get it to work. Because it's insecure, because there's an issue, it's just to click here. Yeah, sure. It's going without testing. Right. Blank, right? So let's do Stockholm. Okay. I could be cheating, right? Paris. Unlucky Parisians. Brussels. Yay, unlucky Belgians as well. Again, the fact that it blinks and doesn't show me anything, that's my decision to not to show a spinner, right? I could do this, show this to you last time. Go back to my view. Let's put an activity indicator. Let's make it spin. Let's make it show when loading. No, let's make it hide when loading is false. Right? So let's try that again. These small things make a huge difference, but they are possible. All right, you see there, nothing is happening. Let me go through the only cities that I know. There you go, you see. Now you already realize that something is happening. So that's in the same app. I'm doing two APIs, two API connections. You see? So that's like we've really kicked it up a notch in terms of complexity. In terms of design, you can really mess around with this and like tweak it so that it looks more like a weather app. And this horrendous image that comes from this service, I mean, it's nice of them to provide an image in the first place, but you can maybe provide some yourself, or you can provide some different images if you want. All right, so that was a lot, but that was me creating a custom integration to a WordPress website and to this random other weather API I found. But you'll see most systems online have APIs that you can connect to and that you can fetch data from. You can also interact with them. Here I am fetching, but you can also create items, delete items, log in, log out.